What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Best Bodybuilding Show, brought to you by ProSups, Independence Gym, and all the rest of the sponsors of this show. So I've got one of AZ's own, new champion in California, Anthony Massa, up in the house. We just got done doing a little arm blast here with Miss Leanne, and now she is collectively sitting behind the camera holding it, and so we'll see how she feels in 7 minutes when she's burning. But now on to the show. Anthony, bro, thank you for coming on the show, dude. I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it, thank you.
I've only seen Anthony a little bit on social media. The funny thing was, is we were talking about you on the way here, and I said, you know, I didn't know Anthony at all. All I knew is an Italian guy, and I think that we both put out this presence of an alpha male presence. And then all of a sudden, here we are, man. We start liking each other's stuff on social media. Zach was like, "Hey, Anthony was talking about getting on the show," and sure enough, the guy's down to earth, very much approachable, and completely, again, just goes back to, if you think you know somebody without knowing somebody, you really are selling yourself short, and then you don't grow as a person. And so again, don't pass judgment on anybody, even if you have muscles. So again, dude, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot for the training session.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm gonna barely be able to move. Anthony just came off his victory. What is it, 5 weeks, 6 weeks post-show? Or?
Oh, no, it's only about 2.5 weeks post.
Oh, shoot, dude.
Yeah,
so tell the people a little bit about the show you did, your placing, and a little bit about going into the show. You know, we talked a little bit about doing some things differently, which obviously you got the results that you wanted to,
right.
At least in the division anyways. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about the last show. And
so the show I just competed in was the NPC John Lindsay Pacific USA out there in San Diego. Competed in the light heavyweight division. I was fortunate enough to win my class. I came just shy of winning the overall, but overall brought a totally new, different package to the stage this year. Kind of changed a couple of things up. You know, just started with kind of manipulating my carbs a little bit,
right.
Kind of seeing how I could come into the show. You know, my problem was always coming in good condition, just always flat.
Right.
So, you know, we played with the carbs a little bit and then came in on point. I was very happy with the package that I brought. You know, it was full, it was hard, and then just competed up against a good lineup. You know, shot for that overall. The kid that beat me in the overall was just on point. You know, it was a tough class, it was a tough show. But, you know, still happy with win's a win.
Right,
Absolutely. It's the overall or just your class, so very, very successful. Coming into the show, prior I used Marcus Haley,
right.
Pro.
So if you guys don't know, real quick, and sorry to interrupt you, but he just spit out a whole bunch of information there, and my wheels are turning, dude. So Marcus Haley, IFBB Pro, is also making a return to the stage, I hear.
Yep.
I've been trying to get him on the show, dude, so I'm going to use you as a catalyst. Marcus Haley, we want you on the show, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's also building up a pretty big team, too,
yes.
himself, with his, and he's got a pretty big ladies section going on. But totally, when I looked at your pictures, seen some pictures you posted in the hotel, you were dry, you were on point. You definitely looked good. I think when we just looked at a couple of pictures when we were training out here, and to me, I thought your conditioning I said the pictures were a little bit blurry, but I think your conditioning beat the guy. But the guy was actually, he's a bigger bodybuilder and wasn't, say, like 100% on versus 90% on and being the bigger bodybuilder. Right. I think that's what separated you guys. But this was your first time in the light heavies?
It was my second time.
Second time in the light heavies. So you've been a middleweight, you've now moved up to the light heavyweights. Yes. What did you notice, or what did you guys, I want to talk a little bit about diet and what got you to catapult yourself to the top, more towards the top of the light heavies versus being in that middleweights or maybe in that lower division?
Absolutely. Being in the middleweights, you know, it's always going against a little bit shorter guys.
Sure.
So they're going to carry a bigger presence because they have that, you know, that height. Me being 5'8", 5'8" on a good day, I like to say, I feel that I can compete, be more competitive in the light heavyweight division, possibly even in the heavyweight division. Well,
and we talked about that being, and it's crazy that when we say a 5'7", 5'8", right. We're too tall for the light heavies, and that's the truth. That's the truth behind it.
It is.
He has a great frame to be set up to be a heavyweight, and I would expect over the next 2.5 years that you'll be very comfortably into that division.
Absolutely. You know, I look forward to making that jump into the heavyweight division because I feel that's where I'm going to be able to compete, be competitive on the national stage. Right now, I'm still kind of just learning my physique, learning what I can do, what my limitations are. Being a light heavyweight, still want to win some titles as a light heavy. Would love to win a couple overalls.
Sure.
Maybe even compete at the national stage as a light heavy. But I feel that my physique will take me to higher places as a heavyweight.
And I agree with you, and that will come with time too.
Right,
You know?
absolutely.
What was the biggest difference that you noticed? Okay, so we talked about coming in full and coming in flat, and we both are, if you want to put a label on it, ectomorphic style guys. You know, lean dudes to begin with, and that's something hard to overcome. So what is it that you guys, you know, did differently to keep that fullness, keep that hardness? Because again, the pictures don't lie. You looked great in those hotel shots, man.
It was actually just more food, you know. He had me eating a little bit more protein, manipulating my carbs. We do 3 low carb days, 1 high carb day. By the time I hit that high carb day, I was a little bit flat. I'd carb back up again, ride that out until the next high carb day.
Right.
So I was able to stay fuller longer instead of being so depleted, trying to catch up. Staying full the whole prep was way more substantial for me as far as being full on stage and then coming in completely flat, trying to carb back up the day of the show.
Right.
So staying full longer definitely helped out. I felt that, you know, it was still low carbs for me, obviously, because, you know, carbs are, you know, what gives us energy.
Right.
But, you know, the way he manipulated my carbs was so on point that, you know, I couldn't ask for a better package.
Sure. That's nice. I mean, it seemed to work out, and again, you know, we were talking about the amounts of carbs that you were intaking. You were saying somewhere the low day was around 150 grams or something?
About 150 grams on my 3 low days, and then the high day was about 225 to 250. So, I mean, still, again, my high day was not that high, but being so depleted, you know.
Well, and that's a good point, because in when I was talking to you about when Dusty and I were dieting and we were really, really low on carbs, and then when we'd have a high day, you can get super full on 200 grams of carbs. You know what I mean? So it's kind of tricky how that body works. And so, again, I do a testament to Marcus Haley and you guys working together. Obviously, you came in, you looked great. Questionable that you could have, you know, you could have easily went. You could have been a toss to go either way.
Either way,
at the overall. What would you have done different? Or do you think, because whenever I take a step back, it's like you don't ever want to question a coach, but as a competitor, you also are, you know, what do you think you guys could have done differently that maybe you haven't conveyed to Marcus, or maybe that you feel in your heart, God, what if we would have tried this, maybe this could have came out, or maybe nothing?
Yeah, to answer that question, Mike, really, honestly, nothing. You know, I put 100% faith in him as far as him being my coach and him doing my diet for me. You know, I've always had Christina Najak from Power Nutrition, Pro Nutrition. She's done all my diets for every show. So he kind of took that in consideration, kind of meshed those 2 diets together, and came out with something different.
Sure.
And, you know, it was some of what she had and some of what he had, put it together, made it my own. And in all honesty, I couldn't have changed a thing. I wouldn't question one thing of him. He told me to do it. I did it. I ate it. I ate it at the specific time he told me to eat it at. So
if it was dirt, you would have ate it.
I would have ate dirt, anything. But you know what? Again, like I said earlier, just I just listened to everything he said to a T, didn't question it, and just, you know, followed it out.
And that being, if you've ever helped anybody out, and I'm totally guilty of it, because I help people out and then they ask me why questions, and I get so pissed off, and so I do apologize for anybody that I've helped out get ready for a show or anything. But and there's something to be said for that. If you listen to what you do, and the greatest thing that I heard from you is that trust the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trust the process. There'll be points where you're going, but you trust the process, and look, it came out, you were victorious, man. So again, you know, congratulations. That's what separates and makes a champion, is being able to suffer to those points, and I'm sure you had to get there. So with that being said, when do you tentatively thinking the next show will be? And then how long do you think in off-season time?
Right.
And
I think right now, for me, is to take about a year off from competing, train, work on some of my weaker areas. You know, I definitely want to bring up, you know, thickness in my back. Definitely quads is always one.
Sure.
You know, really get those deep insertions in the hamstrings and the glutes. So once I feel those are up to par, probably sometime, maybe early 2006, hop on my next show. Not too worried about what weight I'm going to come in.
Right.
Just want to come in where I know my weak parts are up to par.
Right.
You know, everyone wants to, you know, have these amazing body parts. Well, right now I need the wheels to match the hook.
Right.
So that's the goal. You know, again, not worried about what my weight is, what class I'm coming in. Either it's a light heavy or a heavy, but knowing that I'm going to bring a better package than I brought to the last show.
Sure.
So I mean, I'm not going to say anything for sure, but it's going to be lights out next show.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that when you talk about, that's all you can do when you're competing in you really, obviously you always want to win and you always want to be in first place, but if you're improving every single physique and maybe not even maybe not even improving a position versus you're improving your look. Do you know what I mean? Because again, you never know who's going to show up. So you might place third but look better than you did at your last show. The greatest thing that I hear out of him is he's recognizing his weaknesses. If you look in the mirror and you think that you have the complete physique, well, guess what? You're wake up, because none of us do. Not Phil Heath, not Jay Cutler, not Mike Best, not Anthony Massa. Nobody truly has that complete physique. And I think if you think that you do, then there you are. You're going to get passed up by the next cat coming up. You know.
I agree.
So that's a testament to being realistic with bodybuilding, and also, you know, adding that size. It takes the time. You know, you've got to put a year in to add 3 or 4 lean pounds. You know.
Absolutely.
And we talked about that a little bit in the training session about being 240 at where I've been at 240 in my off season, and a sloppy, you know, chubby 240 at, you know, 13% or something, versus being around and holding that 225 at a 10% or a 9%,
right,
and being able to walk into a prep. And tell me and tell the people a little bit about your experience of only having to diet for 10 weeks.
Right.
And you were telling that the last 6 weeks was really the hardest part of it. You know what I mean?
Really, you know, my whole philosophy was stay lean in the off season, you know, while still building that actual muscle. So when I started my prep, I don't have to kill myself with an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio.
Right.
To me, that's, you know, it kind of defeats the purpose. We grew into the show, is what Marcus wanted to do.
Explain that to people, what growing into the show means too. And what did you guys do meaning growing into the show?
Kind of just growing into the show. Marcus's philosophy, my philosophy, is still building lean muscle while dieting, while prepping. A lot of people feel that they have all this weight to lose, but the leaner you stay off season, you can still build that muscle. So, like we talked about earlier, you step on the scale doesn't change, but you look harder.
Exactly, and that's that's kind of where I'm leading into, is that when he says grow into the show, you may not gain a pound at all, but man, you can look at yourself and look at yourself at you know, different stages of that, and eating more food going into the show, and watch your muscle bellies fill up and fill out, you know. And again, it's just a testament of being around people that understand that, and also, you know, not being afraid to eat, man, because truly food is your friend going into dieting. It's more of keeping the the fire
and kind of to break that stigma everyone feels like, well, cut your protein, cut your carbs. We didn't have to do that. You know, I was so lean in the off season that really my off-season diet did not change much until like the last 6 weeks, and that's when I really started to feel it. Obviously, you know how our energy just gets depleted because of, you know, the carbs being so low, but I really ate almost the same thing. You know, I don't eat too much fish off-season, so adding that fish in, you know, 8 to 7 weeks out from the show really starts to bring in a different look to my physique.
Right.
The skin starts to
thin out. Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know,
and it's funny too how when you start changing up even the protein, and the way it assimilates. You know, when you're eating fish, it assimilates that fast versus even chicken. And then if you compare it to beef, man, you're a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? You're hungry after 20 minutes after a fish meal. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, I think again, man, I think that you continue to grow. You know, your physique's growing. You're a stand-up guy, and it's going to take you some places here in the sport. And you're young. You're only 29, man. So you have another decade to go. Dude. You know, truly, you do, dude. And you're lifting smart. You know, we talked about our lifting styles and philosophies, and you know, I haven't announced it yet, but I'm having a seminar soon here at Independence Gym. And it's going to be free to people that want to learn how to lift this philosophy. And you know, all I'm going to ask you right now, I need help. I want help from people that think that, and I want to reach out to you and some other you know, local bodybuilders to help me teach people how to lift correctly and properly. And so that seminar, and look for that coming up soon, and look for Gat to be in the house with Pro Subs, baby. Because when we were talking about training, we're talking about time under tension, Dennis James' philosophies, Marcus Haley's philosophies, things that you can stimulate the muscle and even annihilate the muscle if you want to without going crazy poundages. Because I think as you start to get progressive into this sport, the human body can only take so much before it starts to, you get the aches and the pains. So tell us how you guys prepped for the show training wise. You know, let's take it and reverse it away and talk about the training style versus, you know, the dieting style.
Well, Marcus's philosophy as training was pretty brutal. He really liked the 1 and 5s, the constant tension, you know, the time under tension, especially when it came to quads. You know, we would only do 3 leg exercises, and I was already spent after the 3 exercises.
Right.
he really incorporated just a lot of squeezing, a lot of pushing, a lot of blood into the muscle bellies, really get those muscles full and hard.
Right.
So with that being said, the whole last off season was really successful because of the change of the training style. I didn't have to go, 150-pound dumbbells and incline press. To me, I'm saving not only my joints, my tendons, but I'm also going to be able to recover faster, and my next workout's going to be even harder.
Right.
So the change really was beneficial. I saw more gains doing it that way than previous ways of training.
Sure.
So.
And I agree with you. In the last 2.5 years since I've changed up, and I got to credit mine to Dusty because he really took control and took the reins of my training style the last couple of years, and I use his methods a lot now, but I'm a sponge, and it sounds to me like you are too, that I'm going to take things that are from the best people. You know what I mean? I have no shame in my game as capitalizing on people that are better than me. I'm going to steal their stuff. I'm going to steal your thunder. And it works, you know what I mean? And there's something to be said for it. And I think longevity-wise, if you want to live for longevity,
right.
Look into time under tension. Look into, negatives. Look into static holds. Look into, squeezing at the top and everything in a controlled movement. And what I call it is maximizing your time at the gym. He just said it. He did 3 exercises, but couldn't walk out of the gym. That's because you're maximizing the negative and the positive and working your muscle to complete exhaustion, And again, it's been beneficial because you've probably noticed size differences, even in your weak points,
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, it works, man. Let's talk about the people that get you here, man. You're a GAT representative. You've been with those guys for how long now?
Going on about a year now. Being a demo rep for GAT for about a year now. Big shout out to my boy Brian Dietz, who gave me the opportunity to be part of this company, and then just being in the supplement industry, GAT, post-ups. It's a small world, but it's a big one.
It is.
So
and it's nice too, bro, to be honest with you, because I want to get more of these demos going on. Obviously we're in 2 separate companies, but we're all out there trying to get out there and spread the word of really it's fitness and nutrition, and that's really what it's all about. And we can't make that happen unless we make ourselves approachable. And Anthony's approachable unless the headphones are in. We have a universal rule. If your headphones are in, man, don't tap on the shoulder. Come on now. It means you're 5 weeks away. Don't tap on the shoulder. But it's good, man. We're going to do some demos and stuff, and I'd like to hopefully we can get you guys involved in some of the events that we're going to do with Independence Gym, and bring you guys out. There's going to be some cool stuff happening this year. So, GAT, man, you guys, what's your guys' #1 product? And you guys got some stuff that was coming up with the bodybuilding awards and stuff too. You guys were nominated for some stuff.
Bodybuilding.com for upcoming company.
Yeah.
Our probably #1 product is definitely gonna be our pre-workout, the NitroFlex.
Right.
We have 4 new flavors that came out, but my absolute favorite is the black cherry. So if you're in the area, you're looking for some black cherry, let your boy know, see if I can hook you up with it.
Take care of you.
Yeah. But we have such a different array. It's for all type of athletes. We just don't cater to one type of athlete. Same thing with pro subs, And again, that's what's so great about being in the stream, because there's so many different things that you can learn from each other. That there's so much knowledge out there that we want to pass on to people about what this pre-workout will do, what your guys' protein will do.
Sure.
So and that's one great thing about being in this industry. It's like we may be competing with each other, but at the end of the day, it's like we're all on the same team. It's all about promoting fitness and health.
It is, and we talked about it too, about bringing it down to, and this is where TJ and ProSubs has hit a home run, and I see it happening now with iForce, and I see it happening with GAT, and I see it happen where you're bringing it down to the local level, man,
right.
And you're making it real, because when you see real people and real results, and you're not just about opening up a Flex magazine, but you can come to the demo, you can shake my hand, I will talk to you, I will bang out weights with you, it makes it real. And so, GAT, ProSubs, you're onto something, man. It's about making it real with the real people and bringing it down to earth, and that's what's making the awards happen. You know what I mean? And then you bringing in guys like this that not only represent the product, but are a class act of the product and making it approachable, man. Right. So you've done a great job, dude. And I see you at the shows all the time. So I'm gonna come up and get me some samples. I'm gonna trade you out with some Mr. High. Who else, man? Who else has been in your realm? You're not from Arizona originally.
Originally from New York, grew up there my whole life. Moved out here in about 2008.
This is Italian brothers right here too, by the way.
Italian stallion right here.
That's it.
So came out here for one weekend, liked it. Had a taco, like I told you. Had a taco, I stayed. So really enjoyed it. Really like being out in Arizona. I love the weather. 108, it's no problem for
Sure.
me. You know, I've stepped into power nutrition one day, and I met Christina Najak, and she pretty much put me on to this whole competing thing. And 2012 was when I stepped on my first show because of her. She did every diet for me up until then. You know, again, I took, you know, her diet, Marcus' diet kind of made it.
Sure.
So definitely a big thanks and a shout out to her. And Power Nutrition or Pro Nutrition, as a lot of people know it.
Right.
Obviously, IBB Pro Marcus, the Common Haley, who really just transformed my physique into something totally different. The late Vince Comfort was one of my first coaches I ever used. IBB Pro, Troy Alves. I know he's got the Troy Alves Classic coming up.
And matter of fact, yeah, the Troy Alves Classic show's coming, Felicia Romero show's coming. And Troy Alves, man, you're another one I want on the show, dude. You said you were coming on the show, bro. I'm gonna hold you to it, man. You're right here, dude. We called them both out now, man. We got to get them on the show, dude. Definitely want them on. You know, and I think too, with having that kind of support system, dude, not only does it help, and here's what he told me too, is like every time you went to the gym, you had IFBB Pro, Marcus Haley, you know, let's go pose.
Yep.
Hey, you had Troy Alves, let's go pose, dude. And it's definitely made you a better bodybuilder, man.
Without a doubt, huge. You know, these are pros who competed at the top stage.
It's a trip, isn't it, when you see them and you see the pros, because you're like, I
Exactly.
remember looking at magazines going, man, if I ever seen that guy in the gym, you know what I mean?
You know,
and it's really, it's a humbling experience, and it's cool, man. And it's good that they're approachable enough to be able to give back, because, you know, as we all are never going to be in this game forever, and so it is our job as people, you know, as I look up to Troy Alves, there's people that are looking up to Anthony Massa, you know what I mean? There's people looking up to Mike Best, and that is our job, and as being a professional or even an NPC bodybuilder at the national level or whatever, it's your job, man. And so Troy and Marcus and Dennis and all you guys here, all the pros, this state is filled, man. We're blessed with a lot of great competitors, man, and I think it's really a stand-up class act thing that they're giving back in that way.
Well, absolutely. You know, and I'm fortunate enough to say that those two, you know, men are like family to me, because they really took me underneath their wing, you know, and just guided me in the right direction.
Sure.
So again, being out in Arizona, I feel very fortunate because, you know, obviously New York has some monsters. You know, they have the East Coast Mecca,
Right.
Bev
Francis. Yep.
So, but being out here, it's very laid back. Everybody's very approachable. I mean, you can go up to even, you know, Dennis James, who's in all the gyms all the time. You can ask him a question.
Right.
You know, he's getting ready to train Big Ramy for the Olympia, which is what, 5 weeks away.
Big Ramy is big get athlete.
Yeah, so, and you can still go up to them, watch them banging out, and then ask them questions afterwards. So, again, being here in Arizona, very blessed, very fortunate. You know,
It's a hot spot, dude. It's definitely turning into the Cali, or you know, the West Coast Mecca, and I don't want to quite take it away from Cali, but the truth of the matter is that AZ is becoming the spot, because it's not only is the cost of living 10 times better, but the people here, man. There's not a whole lot of people that are born and raised here, so you got a culture of all kinds of different mixes, man. And you know, the cool thing is, like you said, everyone's fairly laid back and very, very approachable.
Absolutely. You know, and the local shows are going out here too, really bringing in a lot of great competition. You yourself being a former Mr. Arizona, you know, going up against monsters like Mike, so it just makes you as an athlete better to go up against guys like yourself. And you know, to me, to be out here, again, I just feel very fortunate. So I'm just going to keep running it out. You know, this is going to be my new home, and I'm just, again, very lucky to be here.
Well, it's awesome, dude. You got a good head on your shoulders, man, and you bring a great energy and a vibe around you. I want to train with you again as we get closer into the show. For myself, we'll tie that up. Anything else out there you want to say, man, before we get the heck out of here?
You know, just want to say thank you to everybody who's always supported me. You know, always had my back. Again, I have a lot of great family and friends out here in Arizona, back in New York, Florida, all over the state. So again, thank you to you guys. You know, without you, it wouldn't be that easy for me, but you guys make it great. My girl, she's been amazing. You know, I mean, going into my last show, I didn't even have to get out of bed. My food was already heated and prepped and shoved it in my face.
And and you know, Dusty said it best. If whether you have a girlfriend or, you know, I had somebody like Leanne that was that person that does those things for you, man. It's so, you can't put a dollar amount on it, dude, because this sport cannot be done alone. You know, you have to have a team. You know, you stand up there alone, but by God, there's no way that you can't have the loved ones or the people that know your dream and how important it is to you for them to be a part of that, you know. and I definitely envious, because that's what it's a good thing to have, you know what I mean? And you should feel fortunate, and it sounds like you do.
Amazingly blessed to have her. You know, and she's actually dotting her. She's a week out from her show. She's going to compete here in the mile show.
Oh, nice.
Next week. So.
And what is next week? The Desert Storm Classic. Is that's what? So guys, get your tickets. You got to support your local bodybuilding. I've seen that Kim put up a thing too. They're looking for some more vendors out there. Get a hold of NPC Miles Productions. It's our responsibility as athletes, as representatives of this sport, to sell out these shows, man. It's very, very important. We all want spots to compete and places to compete at. Well, that's how you do it. You get it, buy a ticket, man. Even if you don't go, it's $30. So get a ticket. Anything else, bud?
I think that's it. I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. You know, thanks for the training session. You know, I'm always around, so.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It was my pleasure, you guys. For Mike Best, the Mike Best Bodybuilding Show, Pro Sups, My Oatmeal, Hot Lods Clothing, Lana's Egg Whites. Gosh, the list goes on and on. I have to look, 6-pack bags, Big AZ Marketing. Again, I am blessed to be able to present these episodes. Look for big things coming up. We're a few weeks out from the Olympia. We're going to be having some new backdrops coming. We've got Olympia interviews set up. It's going to be crazy. Things are going to be happening. I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. Thank you very much, dude. We'll definitely do some more training together. Look for the Mike Best, first annual Mike Best training seminar for all the people. I don't care if you're a pro bodybuilder, a pro athlete at any level, somebody that's never lifted a weight before. We're going to be getting the dates up and stuff, and look for guys like myself, Anthony Massa. We're going to all be in here giving back to you. We want to teach everybody and spread the word of fitness, that it isn't all about muscles, it's about enjoying it, you know, and if you don't enjoy the gym, you won't go to the gym. So again, guys, thank you all. Stay tuned for the next episodes.